You're listening to the Wandering Wild podcast. Hi everybody, I'm here with my friend Maya today. We're in the beautiful Magnetic Island in Australia, which is super far away from where you're from.
Yeah.
So how did you end up here?
So I've only been in Australia for about 2 months. 2 months yesterday, 2 months today actually, from the UK. So I kind of decided at the back end of 2025 that I wanted to travel, and going to Australia, I suppose, was like, it just kept coming up to me. So I was like, I need to follow this thing, you know. And then did my research, booked a flight to Cairns, was there for 4 weeks, and then ended up here. And I've been here another 4 weeks now.
That's so cool.
And I love it so much.
When you say Australia kept coming up to you, what do you mean?
So a weird story. I had a friend who I kind of lost touch with, and we used to work together. And one of our other friends I'd also lost touch with, so 3 girls, and I was like scrolling on Vinted a lot, shopping like for clothes and stuff. Because I'm tall, and so was this other person, something came up and I liked it on the feed, not realising it was her. And we hadn't spoken in so long. And she messaged me and was like, oh my God, like, not you liking my stuff. And then we just kind of started catching up. And then she was actually close by to where I was living at the time, like in the next week. So she was like, let's meet for dinner. So we went for dinner. And then I asked about this other friend. And she was like, yeah, she's in Australia now. And I was like, oh, I'd love to catch up with her. I kind of felt like I'd been a bit of a bad friend in the past from when I used to drink and party and stuff. So I kind of wanted to reach out and like almost apologise. So I did. I said, can I have her number? And I did. And I sent like a 5-minute voice note just being like, hey, like, I just want to say sorry for like my behaviour in the past. Like, this is what I'm up to. Hope you're okay. I heard you're in Australia, how's that going? And then she replied and was obviously like grateful to hear my apology, I guess. And then we just started talking about Australia. And then like from that point, you know, because I'd never thought about it before. And then like from that point, as soon as she'd mentioned it, like she told me how the visa works and all these things. And then I just kept seeing stuff about it, and I thought, yeah, I've got to just do it. So that was like the end of maybe November. And then yeah, January end of December I booked my visa, paid my visa, and then end of January I booked my flight.
Wow, so it happened really quick.
Yeah, that is quite
so
quick,
cool.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool when things like, I think when the seed is planted in your head and then it just kind of keeps coming up and coming up.
Definitely.
Has it happened with other things in your life?
Yeah, but nothing's, I feel like I've been, because like when I told my family mainly, there's been many, or like friends, there's been many a time where I've been like, I'm going to learn to do this, or I'm going to start this business, or I'm going to change career, or I'm going to move to this place, and it just hasn't happened. So I think at first, like, especially like my sister and my mum and stuff were like, is this just another one of those moments? But then when they realised like, oh, she's going, like, I booked the visa, and then I had to have a conversation of like, can I move him back home for a little bit? So that I stayed for 2 months just to save some extra money. And then it was obviously all real. It didn't really feel real until like the last few days. And then when I went to the airport, yeah, I just was like, because I live away from my family anyway in the UK, so I was used to that feeling. So I was like, oh, I'm just here for a little bit. And like when I went home, it was Easter. So it kind of felt novelty, like seeing family that I hadn't seen for a while. So I was very used to that, like every 6 months or once a year going back around Christmas time, whatever, and seeing people. And then I was like, wait, no, my laptop's here. Like everything I own is in this house now. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going back to my flat. I moved out of my flat. Like this is my next like chapter.
It's exciting. Does it feel good?
Yeah. I love it. I'm so glad I had that for me wasn't the scary part, like starting again, because even when I was living down south in the UK, like I moved around a lot because of like jobs and whatever, different like affordability, like being able to afford places and things. So like starting again, and that was moving from Leicester, where I live, down to Bournemouth, that was a thing in itself, you know. And then I ended up staying there for 7 years, and I thought, I guess it just got to a point where I was like, something needs to change. I need to change now. Just like the vintage story with that girl, like it all just kind of came to me in a way.
Yeah, that's
which is crazy.
so crazy.
Like it was weird. Like I know it's not like what are the chances, but what are the chances that I've
It's like vintage. It's not like social media.
The only thing in common was, we don't have mutual friends. Like I'm just literally looking at tall women's jeans or something like that. And then I'm just, like that. And she messaged me like, hey. And I was like, oh my God. And then, that's basically what started the ball rolling with the whole Australia thing.
That's so cool.
I suppose, yeah.
What did scare you about coming to Australia?
I think what scared me? I don't know. I wouldn't say I was scared. I think I maybe was worried I wouldn't find a job or run out of money. But then also, like, I kind of said, like, if I'm gonna not have a lot of money anywhere, I'd rather do it, because I think a lot of people in the world, and especially in the UK, I can speak for, live like paycheck to paycheck. And that's what I was doing, like we were just talking about just now, like almost on survival mode. Like I'm getting X amount of money on the 28th of the month, for example, and I need to pay this, and this, and this. And then the cycle repeats. And I just wasn't, like, I was doing the same thing, repetitive cycle for a long time. And I like routine. I do thrive in a routine, but also it became so, like, just linear.
Yeah.
I wasn't progressing. I just thought I need something to change. So I think that it was scary to think I'm putting myself in a situation where I am unemployed, because I've worked since I was maybe 15. So like 10, well, I'm 27. It's like 12 years of my life, right? So to be like, I'm flying across the country, I'm not going to know anybody, and I'm not going to have a job. I'm only going to have X amount of money, like savings. What am I going to have to pay for? How much are things going to be? Because there's only so much research you can do. Like you can watch YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram, read like Reddit and all these things. Oh, this is it. This costs this much, or this plate. But like, you're not going to really know until you're here.
No.
You know what I mean?
And Australia is so big, so it's like
everywhere's different.
I think I didn't understand that when I came here. I was
crazy.
Like, this is so different than here and here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're different. I mean, I've only been to 2 places, but I think from the people that I've met, the Australian people I've met, you definitely can understand how actually massive it is, you know what I mean, as a country, which is crazy. Yeah.
It's so huge. Are there things that still scare you being here, or you feel like settled now that
I feel here now, at the moment, like very settled. The past like maybe the past week, I always have I sometimes get a feeling of like something's like time's running out, but it's not, because I've just got I've just got a job, so I have somewhere to live. Like my accommodation's not going anywhere for as long as I need it, because that's a work for accommodation, and I've just been hired, so my time's not running out. My visa's just started. I've got 10 months left of this first year, but that kind of like niggles at me sometimes, like that feeling of like. But then when I actually zoom out and think, well, no, what, like, I've got food shopping, I have somewhere to live, like, I've met nice people, I don't have anything urgent that I need to, like, get done. Yeah. But sometimes that feeling stays. But no, I love it here. I think I want to stay here for a little while. It just feels peaceful.
I think it loves you too.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, I think as humans, like, sometimes we tend to, like, always be like moving towards the next thing, like rushing towards it almost, running out of time, and what's next, and like almost this sense of anxiety that like time's running out, but the truth is like there's no timeline, like we kind of just make it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that was such a nice feeling. I thought, how like amazing is it, and how grateful I feel to be able to like to be in Cairns, which is such a contrast to Magnetic Island. But like, after, it's not that I didn't like it there, but after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I was like, I'm literally in a situation where I can book a plane ticket and go to the next place and reset, you know? And like, that's crazy that that I'm able to do that, and I have done that, you know. Like, I felt like I was there for ages and I was only there for 4 weeks, whereas I've been here for 4 weeks and it's gone like that, like so quick. And that's because I'm enjoying it so much more.
It's cool to see the contrast.
Yeah, like it is. And like we was discussing earlier, it's like some people just maybe, everyone's what appreciates different environments, I guess. So some people are used to that, or maybe needing that like constant buzz, which I guess you would find in a city life, whereas here it kind of makes you just stop and think. Like the first morning I woke up here and I walked to the shop, usually I would wear my headphones everywhere I go, like always music blasting, and I literally took them out and I was like, it's so quiet, like you can just hear birds, and I was like, I can't even, I just need to. And I've noticed that I do that so much more now. I just walk without music because I'm just trying to be so present with my thoughts, like, which is great because I think we're so, as people, like you're constantly trying to distract yourself, I guess, from things. Always
like
music or
so much stimulation.
Yeah,
it is nice to just slow down.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I've noticed since being here. You don't have to always be in like survival mode, I guess. Like, even when I'm doing like day-to-day things like brushing my teeth or having a shower or I don't know, clean, I'm like and then I'm like, hang on, slow down. Like you don't need to be out the door, like, you know. Especially when you haven't actually got anywhere to be. Like obviously there's times where we will rush if you're going to get a bus or whatever, you've got a shift, but day to day I'm like, I don't need to be like a million miles an hour. And it's nice that I'm having that thought process to be like, wait, slow down, girl, it's okay. You know.
I feel like there's time also to like work on other things, to like be with your hobbies and be, I feel like it's so creative. Do you feel that?
Yeah, definitely.
What do you feel like you've had time to focus on more that maybe you haven't before?
I mean, I love reading. I've always been like an on and off reader though. So I've been reading more, which is nice. And then like even just painting, like the little paint by numbers things, and like making jewellery. And we did at the hostel, there was like a claw clip like decoration, and I made one for, it was so sweet, and I made one for someone else. And it's like I would never have even been like bothered to take, I'd be like, oh, why am I going to do that? Like I don't, because I think, you know, with like things like, I love diamond painting also, but like things like that, I'm like, I don't want the product, I don't want the end thing, because where am I going to put it necessarily? I don't want to carry around a canvas but actually the actual act of doing the creative thing, painting, whatever it is, it makes you feel so, or me, it makes me feel so calm and like present in the moment, that it's nice to think, and just different to think that that's what I'm spending my time doing, you know. And I am like not scrolling on my phone so much, which I think I get trapped into fall into a hole of doing. So yeah, it's nice to be, because I've always been a creative person since I was young, and it's nice to come back to that side of myself. And even like with like I love to sing, and I haven't, like, even I was thinking about this the other day when we was on the beach and like we had the speaker on, and I was singing loud, and there was like what, 5 of us, 6 of us. I would never usually do that, but I just didn't care. Like I was like, I just want to sing because it's making me feel happy and other people are appreciating it. And then people will say things, oh, you should sing, like you should do this, you should try and, you know, like, and yeah, I think I've just, with me, like, especially when it comes to social media and in general, I kind of like, for so long felt like I had to like hide. So I'd like remove everything, delete the profile picture, like delete all the messages and remove every post. Like, so I didn't have Instagram for years. I was off it for ages, because before, when I was like over posting, I guess. Is anyone really doing that? But then it was like a defense mechanism to be like hide like a turtle in its shell, you know?
Yeah, interesting.
So now I'm like, no, I'm allowed to enjoy the things that I enjoy, like loudly, you know? Loud and proud.
Yeah. Why do you feel like we get that urge to hide?
For me, I think a lot of it, well, part of it goes back to like before my sobriety. So there would be times where I would party for for days, and then you have that feeling of like a come down, for use of a better word, or like a hangover, and it's kind of like the regret and the anxiety. So my response to that would be like switch the phone off, delete the profile pictures, delete the contacts, unsend the messages, like delete the photos out the camera, like it didn't happen, like nothing ever happened. That wasn't me, but I, you know what I mean, I was there doing whatever I was doing. So I think still naturally for a long time, even after I first got sober, that was still an initial response to when I felt negative, I guess, when I felt like sad or fed up. I would kind of do that as like my like shell to like protect myself. So maybe that is part of it. I think when you're looking at like social media, everything's so instant, isn't it? So you have got the option to just be like, I'm taking this back now,
right?
You know, and hide. So maybe that's something else.
You can be like, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Remove. Like it was never there.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't think I'm the only. Like, I know I'm not the only person that does that. Like delete the account. Like.
Right. Of course.
So, yeah, that's the main. But now I'm like, no, I want to post my friends and I want to see what my friends are doing on social media. It doesn't have to always be negative, you know. Like I'm traveling, I'm in a different part of the world. Like it is how it can be so. Yes, it can be bad, but it can also be such a positive thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
totally.
Even here now, I would have probably, if someone had asked me to go on a podcast, like to sit and talk, I would be like, I haven't really got a lot to say, but I have, you know?
Yeah.
Like, to make connections and just to talk about normal things, it's nice.
Yeah, girl. Let the world see you.
Exactly.
And not that you have to, like, let the whole world see you, but just, like, allowing yourself to be yourself and speak how you feel.
Because I think everyone should have an outlet of, like, everyone's, you know, people journal or people post videos on the internet or record. I had an app for a little bit, which is like a digital journal where you can speak. I think I'm much more of a speaker, and there's been so many periods in my life where I'm like, I need to journal, I need to start, and then I'll buy the notebooks and the pens, and then I'll just be like, nah. So it's like there's other ways that you can like let yourself release what's inside, you know. Then it doesn't have to be a pretty like everyone's so different, and I think for me that's speaking is better, and making connections with people that way is what makes me fills my cup up, because it also, I get positive reactions from other people. Like you can create strong connections, you know, because we're also the same, really.
Yeah,
I think
so too. How long have you been sober now?
It would be 3 years in October, so now we're almost in August, so 2 years 10 months completely sober from drugs and alcohol. But before that I did little stints, so I would do like, I have it on my phone, like I still can't have a counter. I would do like three weeks, and then I would go back, and then again it would kind of get longer and longer, and then I kind of got to a point where I was like, enough is enough. And then ever since I haven't drank, and I'm like a different person. It's crazy. Yeah.
In what ways?
I think I'm a kinder person. I think when I used to drink a lot and party a lot, I would say things and like do things that I would never do now. Like I would steal, I would lie to people, I would say nasty things like to friends, or because if I wanted to be the one that wanted to, I was always the person that had to stay out to the end, the very, very end. So whatever I had to do to achieve that, I would do it, you know. So yeah, I'm just such I think kinder person is probably the right word, and I'm just more confident. I was always confident, the one that was like dancing on the table, or, you know, running around, do whatever, like jump in the pool, do that, it's so funny. But like now I'm confident in a way that's like so different. And like I was saying about when we were on the beach the other day, like I would have been shy to, like, because I'm not a shy person. When people meet me, like I'm really not, but also I am. You know what I mean? I feel like I really go into myself. So like, I mean, this being here now is like living proof, like how much I've changed. Because I think if I carried on drinking, I would have never have thought I'm going to go to Australia, because one, I wouldn't have had the money to do it, and two, I wouldn't have cared. Like I was happy to stay where I was, you know?
Yeah.
My life kind of revolved around that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All those like decisions you made and it's led you here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like to become who you are now, do you feel like it happened naturally once you stopped drinking, or you think it was it like a lot of work? Like after you stopped drinking, was there still a lot of steps you had to take?
Yeah,
as person?
I think a bit of both. I think the person that I am now and still becoming has been there, like inside of me. But obviously every day I have to, and maybe it's other things, you know, getting older. Like I genuinely like feel like I noticed when my frontal lobe like developed. You know how people say that, and I do. Like I think a lot more before I speak. Sometimes I'll get like something will come to mind, and old me, like I would just blurt it out. And it's sometimes you don't need to just fill the silence with the first thought that comes to your head. So I think when it's talking about like every day, some days are easier than others, and I don't really ever now get tempted to drink, like to pick up a drink, but I am making a decision to not, you know, like I could literally turn around tonight and be like, oh, I'm gonna have a beer, but I just know that I don't want to go back to that person that was drinking. And it's like, I don't care, I don't mind being around people that drink. You know, everybody has their vices. Like we all will have something that kind of will over consume, I guess, in a way. So yeah, I think it's like it was hard work, but it's also I was always in there. She was just kind of waiting. And sometimes I think you have to go through things in life to get to where you're meant to be, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think sometimes your most difficult experiences can shape you in ways that maybe if you just keep having positive on top of positive, you can't really gain that.
Yeah.
Have you traveled a lot before you came to Australia?
Only Europe, really. So I've been to my family, my mum and dad, they always loved like seaside holidays in the UK, and then we were quite lucky that we used to go to Greece a lot, or specifically Crete, which is just below, and I love it there. But the first year I stopped drinking, I was like, right, I'm going to do my first solo holiday. So I booked, it was like a half board, because I thought one of the things that I think people find the scariest about solo anything is eating. You know, like eating in a restaurant on your own. Yeah. So I was like, right, I'll book half board, so breakfast and dinner, because then I know that's there. I don't have to, I've already paid for it. I don't have to, you know, go to a restaurant and say, can I have a table for one, please? Like, it's just, I can just sit down and eat and stare at my phone if I want to. But yeah, that first year I did like 5 trips. I went to Greece, Barcelona, went to Tenerife, so Canary Islands, and then I went to see my friend in Corfu, which is also Greece. So yeah, I travelled, but like long distance, no. You know, like they're all like 3 hours less flights from the UK. Whereas you fly 3 hours over Australia and you're still in Australia, you know. If you fly 3 hours out of the UK, you're somewhere completely different.
In another country. You did 5 trips that year.
Yeah.
A lot. Was there a reason you wanted to travel so much all of a sudden?
I think one thing that about me that is always going to be true is that I'm very all or nothing as a person. So it was kind of like, I used to spend a lot of money on like partying, and people will be like, oh, you must have saved so much money. I haven't saved money, I've spent it on other things, you know, like experiences, like holidays. So I think I just was like, I need to do something for myself. And the sun just makes me so happy. Like I love being in the sun and near the sea, and like any beach, like I love it. So I was like, let's just go somewhere and kind of just make the most of my annual leave that I get. I managed to fit in five trips in, which is crazy, like really. That's a lot of holidays, you know. But even some of them were like, I took myself to Barcelona for my birthday and I had the best time ever, but I was only there for like 4 days. But it's still like, I would have never, I would have spent that on a night out, you know, 300
Yeah.
£300, whatever. But I used it towards that thing, you know, that experience. And then I think if I hadn't have done those trips, I wouldn't necessarily have been as confident to come to Australia on my own. But then again, I've always been a very independent person. I'm very lucky that I've been raised to be that way. Like, me and my sister were both the same in that. Like, our parents have been like, no, you can like get on the bus on your own. You know, it's like, I know some people that won't, like even London in the UK, like they won't, they're nervous to travel to these places by themselves. Like, how do you navigate a train? How do you this, that? And I'm like, just gotta work it out. Like, you can always ask someone for help, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's another good skill, like, of being a solo, doing things on your own, is being able to speak to strangers, because sometimes you do need to speak to strangers, you know? Not everybody's bad.
Yeah, I feel like when we're kids, we're taught stranger danger, but sometimes you do need to talk to strangers.
Not everybody's bad. Like, there is people that are kind in the world. I would like to think more than the ones that aren't, you know?
Yeah.
I've met so many amazing people just by chatting and just being my normal self, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice.
It just seems like you have a lot of self-trust.
Yeah, I think I'm very self-aware now as well. But yeah, I do trust myself a lot, because I think for a lot of my like late teen, like early 20s, I would feel massively triggered, like being let down by people. I think I would always put a lot of what's the word? A lot of, like, I would expect a lot from people. I would expect what I give to people from them to me, if that makes any sense. And then when you don't receive that behaviour back, I'm like, oh, like, so then I feel like that does make you more and more independent. I'd be like, okay, so I'm not going to wait for somebody to say, would you like to go on holiday for your birthday? I'm just going to go on holiday for my birthday on my own, because why would I not, you know? I want to do the thing, so I'm going to do the thing and enjoy it. Like, I don't need, and it's so freeing, like, when you actually solo travel, and like, you don't have to be on anyone else's time zone. You don't have to like have the, oh, should we go here for dinner? Or do you want to get up at this time? Like, no, I'm on my watch. I can eat what I want. I can, you know, go to bed when I want.
That's really, yeah, I feel like that's something it's given to me, is like, I've always struggled with this. Like, I feel like I always kind of know what I want, but then I have to I go to seek permission from other people to do what I want.
Yeah.
Because I'll call my mom and I'll be like, oh, I don't know if I should do this or this. And she's like, oh, maybe you do this. And I'm like, what? No, I don't want to do that.
You already know the answers.
She's
there.
like, okay, do the other one. And I'm like, okay,
yeah. It's like, you know the answer, but sometimes you need somebody to be like, this is what I think. And that's okay. Like, I'm just very much like a person that will just be like, oh, by the way, I've made this massive life-changing decision and it's happening next week, you know? Yeah. So I don't know, I guess that's just the thing that I've done. The older I've got, like, the more I've grown, I've just kind of been like, the only person, it sounds sad to say it, but like, the only person that is really, really and truly there for you is yourself. So you have to like you say, trust yourself, I think. It doesn't mean you can't make amazing connections with people and like ask people for advice, like I do. Like, don't get me wrong, like certain things, if it's job, I had a job potential thing come up when I first got to the island, and I was like, what do I do? I'm having like a personality crisis. Like, I've only just got here, I don't want to leave. But like you said, I knew the answer. I knew I wanted to stay here and I didn't want to go, but I just needed the validation in a way of people to be like, there's reasons. I literally did pros and cons, wrote it down, and I was like, there's reasons I want to stay, or there's reasons I would leave, and then it kind of it didn't happen anyway. So, you know, the answer was there from the start.
Yes.
It can work both ways, I think.
Here you are. I feel like you've lived a long life. Like, I mean, we haven't talked that much, but like you have so many stories.
I do. I really do.
And I feel like also when you speak about your stories, it almost feels as if you're like speaking on like different versions of yourself.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me. After you've like experienced all of this, and you've obviously had a lot of growth growth and things like that. I'm gonna ask you a really big question. What's like your philosophy on life? Like, do you have some sort of philosophy on the way you live your life now?
I think I'm very lucky to be in a situation like my immediate circle of friends and family where I haven't experienced, because I think a lot of people would instantly answer that question by like life's too short, like live every day like it's your last. And yes, I agree with that 100%. Me personally, like immediate family members, I've been really lucky. Like I haven't had any crazy traumatic people pass away and, you know, like loss. I haven't experienced that so much in relationships and things. Yes, I've had relationships that have been horrible breakdowns, but as far as that goes, no. People close to me have though, and especially in the past recent years, like I've had friends that have lost parents and it's been out of nowhere and it's, you know, it's horrible. I couldn't even imagine. Like I'm so lucky to have both my mum and dad, and there's two friends in particular that have both lost parents, and I was also close with that parent because my relationship with my own family has been rocky. When I was a teenager, I was very naughty. I was a very naughty child, quite rebellious, like black sheep, so to speak. I'm the oldest of three, so I was always kind of like running away from. I just thought everybody wants to tell me what to do, and I don't want to listen. I want to do what I want to do, whether it's right or wrong. So I think the older I get, I suppose a philosophy I would say I follow is, yes, that life is too short, and I also just try every day to be as kind as I can and just put out love, even if I'm not necessarily going to receive it back. I think for a long time, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, I used to say like, I'm just meant to love people and not get it back, you know, and that's so sad, like to think about it. But I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true at all now. But I think sometimes we are here for a reason, and maybe my purpose is to show love and just to like talk about my life experiences so that other people can hear and be like, oh, me too, you know?
Yeah.
And open up conversations for people that maybe would not. Even like, there's so many things, like even with sobriety, I talk about it so much, and I'm sure people, especially when I first went sober, because I don't think people believed me for a long time. I sound like a broken record, but like, I will say it like any chance I'm sober, because it's me holding myself accountable, but also it opens up conversations for people. And like even being in Australia, I've met people that are like, I'm interested about, I want to stop drinking, and now I have these bad habits, and you know, so it opens up those conversations. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to talk about it all the time. You know, I don't want to think about the bad things I've done all the time, but I'm always so open to talk about, and even like other things, mental health, things that have happened in my life that have been traumatic. It's like I'm always so willing to just be open and have those conversations, because I think you never know who needs to hear what you've got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really admire people who are just like open and willing to talk about everything.
Yeah.
Because it really does. Yeah, I feel like it connects you to people and it makes other people feel open and comfortable to share. Yeah. When you say you feel like you are meant to just like give love, my last episode I did about love, because it's like so complicated, you know, it's like, what even is it?
Yeah.
So you feel sometimes like you're meant to give love but not receive love.
Yeah.
But when you're sharing love, does that make you feel love? Like you kind of have to feel love to be able to share it, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I think I realise that now, the more I continue to grow and the older I get, like it's not necessarily an exchange of a thing, you know, like you just literally put it perfectly. Like you have to be able to feel it to also receive it, you know, or to be able to give it to get it back. So yeah, I definitely agree. That's very true.
Where do you feel like it's coming from? Is it coming from yourself? Is it something you're creating?
I don't know. I think I just use the fact that I just love to talk. Like I just talk, and like whether it's my star sign, like I'm a Leo through and through, whether it's ADHD, I don't know, just how I am, you know. I think I've always been that way, and it doesn't have to. I think for so long I've been made in the past by ex-partners or people to feel like I'm too much, or you don't need to feel so strongly about every job I've had, every relationship I've been in. I'm a hard worker. I will love hard, you know. I feel my emotions, I really do. So I think I spent so long being like trying to like dumb it down, but now I'm like, no, I don't need to. This is always how I'm gonna be like this, so I might as well carry on, you know. I don't need to change myself in any way.
And I think you're actually lucky because when you feel things hard like that, like you're really getting the full experience of this life.
Yeah. How amazing it is to when I left Cairns and like you meet, especially I'm sure you relate, like saying goodbye to people that you've known for like 2-3 weeks, and you get these like crazy strong connections. And you're like, I have to say bye, and it's so sad, but how like lucky we are to be able to meet people and make bonds in that way, that it's sad to say bye.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, because I do think that it's like easy when you're traveling to like try and hold yourself back from making those connections because you know like eventually we will say goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
But really, I think you have to look at it from the perspective of like, what are you, like you're gaining so much from even knowing the people, even if you're not always in each other's presence.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah, it's cool that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
To feel things and live it fully. Yeah. Well, you're gonna start an Instagram account where you're sharing more.
So I want to
things. Do you know what it's gonna be called?
Not yet, but I will send it over to you and we can.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description of the episode.
Yes, I will. I'm gonna
so
do it in the next few days. 100%. I need to just make the account, get a username. I have some ideas, but I need to. Hopefully, they're not taken. Yeah. So I need to work that out and then just post and just put my things out there, because for me it's like there's not always someone to talk to, but if I need to talk to a screen, then that for me has always been like a good outlet.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm excited. Sweet.
Me too.
I love listening to you talk, and I feel this from you. I feel like this passion, like you have so much to share and you're like willing to share it, you're open about it, and you're passionate about it. So
yeah,
that's a really special compliment. The world needs you. Yeah.
Thanks. Just thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I would never have, like a few years ago, maybe even months ago, I'd have been like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. Like I don't have anything to say, but I do, and it's nice to just have these conversations. Like even some of the things I've spoken about, like I said, I'm such an open person. I'll have these conversations a thousand times over. But today I needed it today. It's made my day, because we've tried to arrange this a couple of times. You know, It was my birthday yesterday, and today it's happened. So this conversation was good.
That's perfect. Yeah. And one of my favorite things about this, honestly, is like, yes, like some people will listen to this episode, but really, like I listen to my own episodes. I started the podcast actually a while ago now, and I'll go listen back to my episodes and be like, oh wow, like that's so I'm so cool where I was. And
look back and see how you've changed.
Yeah. So I was listening to my episode with Julie the other day, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm a little stressed because I'm having a hard time finding a job. And I was like, oh, she has like,
and you forget that feeling so quickly, like the things that you're worrying about.
Yeah, so
she now wouldn't even remember that she felt like that, you know, because she's just been at work all day. Like,
that's cool. And then now, even when we part ways, we'll have this conversation together. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.